What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? I know y'all wasn't suspecting this. I wasn't either. I just really was here home on a weekend where I finally got off, and I said, let me just go ahead and look and see what this show is talking about. Um, and here we are, Divorce Sisters. Okay. Um, Mind you, I kind of feel bad for the show. No lie, it's a Tyler Perry show, right? But I also kind of feel bad for the show in the sense that it kind of came on during the BET Awards. Was it during the BET Awards or after the BET Awards? I mean, it's 7 episodes in now. Okay, so I'm playing catch up. And it's on BET Plus, but also the simple fact that, the whole little scandal and shit with Tyler and all of that was going on. So, that kind of affected it a little bit probably too. But either way, I did initially want to check it out because LaToya Luckett was in here. And one thing about it, two things for sure. If ain't nobody else gonna act on the show, LaToya Luckett is gonna act on the show. And LaToya Luckett is acting on this show. Mind you, this is only the first episode. And I feel bad for her, okay? Because, her husband, girl. Okay, let's just get into it. So, Divorce Sisters. Honestly, initial thoughts. When I heard that this show was coming on, I was like, really, this is the best title that we can give it. But okay, put that to the side. Let me just, go ahead and get into it. So we have a group of women who are friends. Naomi, Rashida, Geneva, Tiffany, and Bridget, I believe. Okay. So you have, these are the dynamics. Naomi is divorced. Okay. Naomi is not only divorced, she's divorced, been divorced, and she is in her feelings, and she's giving very much, I would say, Taraji P. Henson's character from Acrimony. Okay. Meaning you divorced the person that you was with because they weren't doing right, or you felt like they weren't doing right. But then you realize that, this is what you left me for. You go ahead and you get better. But in this sense, the person that she was with, he's now with a white woman. Okay. And she feels some type of way about that. I mean, honestly, how would I feel if somebody was with me and they left me for a Caucasian? I feel some type of way too, but I would not be doing all of this. I would not be doing all of this. Mama is sneaking and trying to get into the accounts and, stalking her and all this stuff to the point where, she is getting sued by her ex because, listen, you won't stop stalking and harassing me. It's over. You got the money pay out and all of that stuff. Let it the freak go. Move on. To the point where she is out here, you paying. First of all, she's not a bad looking woman. Okay. But you could just tell that something ain't right up there. You can just tell something ain't right up there. Right. And she is just going through all of the social medias, doing all of the things. You're paying for sex. Is that Bolo? He was on all the Queen's Men. I got to get back into that one, okay? I got to get back into that one. I feel like I got to watch it from the beginning just to catch back up because I don't even remember where I left off at. But yeah, and I'm just sitting here like, first of all, that little interaction between them two when they came in there. Now, granted, are they based in Atlanta? Because the way that she was so confused when he was asking about her house and was like, is this really your house or whatever? I like the decorations and all this stuff. And she was like, is you gay? And I was like, wait a minute. Damn, just because he liked the decorations, he's gay? No, that's just not really what it was. But, you were looking a little suspicious. Okay, I think his name is Hakeem or something on here. Who cares? But he was looking a little bit suspicious, looking all around or whatever. And then later, after they did their thing or whatever, he was like, basically, you made out real good from the divorce from your man, from your husband. And, he set you up pretty good or something like that. She was like, wait a minute, what you think a woman can't get enough stuff like this on her own? He said, no. And right then and there, I said, excuse me. What we're not going to do is that. Okay, granted, it looked like that's where Naomi got her stuff from in the first place, but we're not gonna do that, okay? But Naomi needs Naomi needs something else to do. She needs a hobby. She's scorned. That's basically what it is, okay? And when she put that gun up to that man to make him get up out of there, and he was like, "Oh, you my type of woman," you know what I'm saying? I said, "What you about to do?" He was about to lick the goddamn. I said, "I know he not about to deep throat that gun. She already think you a little saucy," and I'm like, "Oh, what is happening?" But no, it was very kinky, and you know what? Surprisingly, Ashley was into it. Y'all know me. I was into it a little bit. I said, y'all already choking each other out on the first date. First link or whatever. So, hey, you going to ask the man why he coughing. Well, you got him in a choker and you're choking him. So, of course, I'm going to cough like I'm about to die. So, there's that. Meanwhile, you get that. And the friends, the other girls, you have Tiffany, who also went through a divorce, okay? She's a working woman, now a single parent to a child. I don't know how many kids she got at this point, but yeah, it's just a lot that's going on with her. And it feels like the type of situation where you see two people going through a divorce. You see how Naomi is handling her divorce, but then you see how Tiffany is handling her divorce. Mind you, I feel like Naomi divorce probably is just fresh or whatever, but at the same time, Tiffany been divorced for 3 years, okay? And then you got her friend, Geneva, that's trying to get her to get back out there. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, no, I'm not really... That's not what she's on right now. She's more focused on her work and everything. And I feel like she needs to break up out of that. Okay? She needs to break up out of that. But at the same time, you cannot rush somebody to get back into a relationship and to get back on the horse because she's dealing with her. She's probably trying to process it, and this is the way that she's processing it. But at the same time, she's not really processing it because she's using everything else as a distraction from it. You know what I'm saying? So she's going to watch her kid, Geneva's daughter, while her and her husband goes on a trip, right? Mind you, we find out, okay? We find out that, now let me tell you something. Geneva is played by Duvall's wife, Kadeem. And if you know Duvall, if you watch the Tyler Perry series and stuff like that, you know Duvall, he plays Zach on Sistas and Fatima, right? Zatima, I should say. So I was a little confused. Well, not necessarily confused. I was a little concerned to see if she was going to be able to act right or whatever. But so far in this first episode, she's doing an actually good job, to be quite honest, to be fair. Now, this the thing. She's with somebody, okay, that she's about to lose, okay? And I say that because she's very type A. She's very much, I'm into all of my work. And when they went up there, because when we first see them, we see Tiffany and Geneva together, and it seems like they're the closest right about now. But, because, you know, you got your girl friends, okay? You got your group of friends, but then within that group of friends, you got this friend is closer to this friend is closer to that one. And at this point in time, basically everybody damn near kind of like over Naomi, all right? Especially Tiffany. I don't know what Naomi truly did to Tiffany, but Tiffany is the main one that probably can leave or take her, okay? Like, if she be like, girl, she'll dump her in a minute. Imagine they all been friends for 20 plus years, okay? So there's that. So Naomi probably been getting on her nerves since the beginning. And she just tolerated it at this point. And with the things that's going on with her divorce, it's just building up, and then Tiffany's just over it. And Tiffany gives me, okay? Like, girl, I'm not finna keep sugarcoating it. I'm not finna keep holding your hand. Let it the freak go. Y'all are divorced. You got your settlement. You got your money, your alimony. You're paid up. You're living well, okay? He done moved on. Yeah, he done moved on to a white woman. Would it be better if it was a black woman? Girl, this is acrimony. Would it be better if it was a black woman or something like that? Like, either way, come on, you're going to have to move on. You're going to have to move on. And while he's living his life, you're over here stressing. You're over here stressing and losing your mind for what? Mind you, he's over there being happy. So, like, what type of get back is that? You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, you got Geneva, who is, like I said, very type A. I feel like she's about to lose her husband. All right. Granted, this is called Divorce Sistas. So we already coming to the show with 2 divorced women already. Okay. And Geneva, she's in the car with Tiffany. They're going to pick up Geneva's daughter, Anika, right, from school. They're in the carpool lane, right? And so I guess she don't come up there too often because one of the teachers, Anika's teacher, Miss Rose. Let me tell you something, Miss Rose. I ain't like that. Okay? The way that she was like, oh my God, I can't believe that you're up here, because we're usually used to seeing the dad and the nanny. And, we would like to see the parents both come together and all this stuff. It was the way that she was just trying to shade her and just trying to talk down to her like, oh, so you finally found time to come up here to get your daughter? Oh, we almost forgot that she even had a mama. That's basically what she was trying to say. Like, damn, we don't never see you up here. I was been like, Miss Girlie, let me tell you something, Geneva, you handled that real well. Okay, you kept it cute, you kept it professional, whatever, because I would have snapped on her. Like, bitch, I'm here. Okay? Is my daughter, being left at school? No. Is she being late being picked up? No. Is she coming to school on time? Yes. So, just like you're at your job, I also have to work as well. And that's just one of the situations that it is. And my whole thing is, what does the daddy do? Mind you, I'm only in episode 1. Don't spoil nothing, okay? What does the daddy do? Because he able to pick him up and pick her up all the time, and the nanny. And so, drop off, pick up, or whatever. But, Geneva, she's a lawyer. She's actually trying to do the case for Naomi. And, because Naomi and Tiffany Tiffany and Geneva was talking to her. And then Tiffany basically told her ass, move the fuck on, okay? So Naomi gets in her feelings and tried to fire, what's her name? Geneva as her lawyer. But we already know that that's not going to happen. She's just in her feelings a little bit. But then the part when it comes to Geneva's story is like, you're working so much that you can't see that you also got holes and stuff in your, breaking in your marriage as well, because it seems like she's more work focused than she is about her marriage. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with being work focused, but if you're in a relationship, especially a marriage, you have to learn how to compromise and to give equal amount of attention to that. Okay, both of them, because you can't neglect one for the other. You know what I'm saying? You got to give them both equally your time, and you're a mother. So it makes me want to know, like, damn, how much time is you giving to your daughter? No shade. You know what I'm saying? Because you keep on saying, I got this, I got that going on. But now they're about to go on this trip to Italy. Tiffany is about to watch the little girl, but they sitting in her home and they having a little conversation. Anika come down there playing dolls. She got a black Barbie doll, the black male doll, which I love the fact that they're black dolls, okay? And they got the man and a woman, and you got the man saying, oh, you such a pretty little lady. Damn, you a fine little pretty little lady and all that. Or damn, you fine pretty little lady or something like that. And they was like, girl, what? First of all, you don't need to be saying that you 5 years old. You don't be talking like that. And it was like, but that's what Daddy be saying into the pretty lady. Because then Tiffany was like, oh, that's probably what he be saying. She picking up what your husband be saying to you and all that stuff, whatever. And it was like, where you get that from, Vay? And it was like, that's what Daddy be saying to the lady, the pretty lady at school. Mind you, had the dolls kissing too. It was like, come to find out, this is supposed to be some girl at her school named Maddie's mother. Okay. And so I'm like, yeah, you're about to lose your husband. All right. Your husband is cheating right underneath your nose. And it's so easy because obviously they're trying to build it up to be like, you're really not paying attention to your man because you working so goddamn much, and I'm like, oh, I hate this scenario already. And so she's trying to call up there. She's the type of person that once she gets something in her head, she got to be a Capricorn, because this is me. Once I get a thought or something in my head, I got to follow it through. Okay, I got to follow it all the way 100% through. And that is exactly what she's trying to do. She gets on the phone. She tried to call the teacher, trying to get the address to Maddie's parents and all that stuff to try, or she didn't think it was a parent. It was just Maddie's mama. You know what I'm saying? To see if she got something going on and trying to disguise it as trying to have a play date with her and Anika. And of course, The teacher said, no, we don't do that, which, yes, that's how you do it. You don't do that. Don't give out people information because you just don't know what that's going to happen in this world. We see how things are, people are crazy. And so Ms. Rose went on ahead and said, well, you could come up here. We have a PTA meeting. You could come up here tomorrow and see what's good. You know what I'm saying? Everybody be there. They always show up. We never see you, but your husband always shows up. I said, you know what? That's dig number 2. Okay. Now, at first, Geneva, what you should have said was, sure, I'll be there. Because you already want to know the tea. You want to know what's going on, right? But then she was like, well, I have to work. I'm always working or whatever. I said, no, you don't play into that. You should have just said, well, shit, bitch, I'll be there. Okay. Put that, you trying to figure out what's going on. All right. So you going on your Detective Gadget stuff. You need to just say, well, I'll see you there. That's just really what it was. But she couldn't let it go right then and there. And she couldn't wait till tomorrow night. She had to go up there, get the janitor, make him risk losing his job, and convince him to let her into the school because she tried to say that her daughter left her teddy bear or whatever. Goes into the classroom, sees a picture of Maddie, and winds up getting the janitor to give her information about who Maddie's parents are. Mind you, it's not just her mother. Maddie got a mom and a daddy. The Houstons, okay? So mama is married too. I said, oh, it's giving very much that couple at the Coldplay concert. Oh my God, that's just so funny. That they will never be able to live that down because they keep on making parody after parody after parody of it. Oh my God. Like, they ain't the first people that got caught cheating, but shit. It's just so funny. But anyway, so you got that going on. And come to find out, the lady always coming up there in her little yoga pants, and she got this company that she owns called Ogaya or whatever. It's yoga spelled backwards, okay? And it's that's the little clothing line that she has, okay? And so now we know that she's at least possibly married. She got her own company. We know the name of the company, and I'm pretty sure she's finna go be looking at that stuff. Geneva about to be looking it up, all right? Meanwhile, we get to Bridget, who is I would say probably like, she's friends with Rashida. Rashida is married to Pastor Jeff. She's first lady, right? Pastor Jeff is like, I guess, this big preacher or whatever down there. And when we first see them, they're in a meeting, trying to get everything together, getting ready for this, like this little, party, get together, conference, ball, whatever, that they're about to do, right? I think it's going to happen the next night. Getting the seating arrangements and all that together. He says, put an extra seat in there just for, a friend to come. She's thinking, I know it's not going to be Naomi's ex-husband. And he's like, I mean, it's a possibility, but he never said that he was coming. So I put an extra seat. And she was like, well, you know him and Naomi. He said, well, they're broken up. They're divorced. She's going to have to get over it. And you just going to have to deal with it. Okay, well, you go fix that situation. Now, let me tell you something. Baby, I ain't like the way he was talking and belittling her too in front of everybody. It was very condescending. It came to a point where he had to go to another engagement. They was penciling in how long he's supposed to speak at some type of event or whatever. And he was like, you can give me 5 minutes, but if it's like the first lady, hell, you going to have to ask her because she can get up there and talk. You'll probably have to pencil her in for 3 hours. Now, let me tell you something. I was with Rashida for feeling the way that she was feeling. Because what you're not going to do is try to put me down. And it was like little jabs. It was little jabs trying to disguise it as jokes. Oh, baby, don't take it so serious. I'm just joking. No, you can see that it's hurting my feelings and you don't care. And then she tried to talk to him afterwards and he still didn't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? And so you got Bridget, who was like her little secretary or whatever, kind of find out that's also her friend, who is seeing all this and she's relaying it back to the other girls. Minus Naomi. Naomi is in her own little world. She's talking to Geneva and Tiffany about it. And before she can get deep into it, she's just like, yeah, girl, there's some shit going on. That's just basically what it is. She was sitting over there and she wound up having a little get together at the nail shop with Tiffany to try to tell her that, yeah, something is going on between them. I don't know exactly what it is, but she's not happy. And she's not. She's in the office crying and everything. Rashida, all that stuff, whatever. And then we also find out that Bridget, she's the only one that's not married. Okay, she's the only one that's not married, meaning that she's not married, she's not going through a divorce, she's actually in a relationship with somebody that she's living with. But you got that whole situation. But when it comes down to Rashida and her man, mind you, the man is played by Devon Franklin, right? That's Megan Good's ex. I said, oh, okay. Listen. When First Lady Rashida had that lady come in, and I was like, she got to be young. I didn't know she was that young, but she was 19 years old. And you could just tell that, she was just real nervous. Something was so deep on her spirit because she do counseling, right? All of that stuff, right? And then she was like, have you ever sinned? And it was like, yeah, I've sinned, and we all sin, you know what I'm saying? But, we get into things, you got to pray on it and all that stuff. And she was like, well, prayer is what got me into this. Your sermon the other day really convicted me. Why did it? It was like, because, I just want you to be able to forgive me. And she said, well, what do I need to forgive you for? Did you do something towards me? And she was like, well, yes. I said, well, what? Girl, she said, I was sleeping with your husband. I said, what? I ain't gonna lie. The episode was cute. It was cute for the most part, but girl, that's when my ears perked up. I said, wait a minute, what? You was sleeping with her husband? Now, see, I didn't see clips and controversies that was going on about, Devon Franklin playing a particular character or whatever, but I haven't got to that part. So I'm thinking that was what it was about to be. So I was like, oh no, I wasn't expecting this, but I got to get to that. That was how the first episode ended, right? Finding out that this girl is sleeping with your husband, and your husband is kind of making it seem like you're doing the most, or you're too uptight, you're too, yeah. And he out here doing some stuff within the congregation, okay? And it always be like that. No shade. And the people that probably got a problem with him playing this character, y'all just got a problem with it because y'all just know it's facts, and it happens. It's real. Girl, these pastors don't always be on the up and up. They be on the up and up. They be on the down low. They be on the, let me get secrets. Let me impregnate this person, that person. Let me do all of this other stuff. But, oh, Lord, let's not put that out there, even though we know it's true and y'all still follow them. But, hey, it is what it is, y'all. But the first episode was cute. I am going to keep watching and see how this is, okay? Surprisingly, all right. I'll see y'all later.